Hi! Jesus, got a little excited there. Hi, my name is Marc Herman Lynch, and I am the author of Arborescent. Today I'm going to be performing a very short reading, but if there's anything that interests you today, you can follow me at www.markhermanlynch.com or on my Instagram account, and both of them are listed below here. The term arborescent has a philosophical foundation, but essentially what it means is anything that is tree-like. Essentially, arborescence really refers to the metaphorical structures that inundate our everyday lives that we never actually really think about or interrogate because we consider them natural. While the book does have surrealist motifs, the majority of the book actually follows the everyday lives of three different characters. Nohlan Buckles, who's grieving the death of his father, Hachiko Yoshimoto, who's just coming out of university and unsure of her way in the world, and Zadie Chan, who's navigating the difficult and treacherous waters of junior high. Today I'll be reading from Zadie Chan's section, which is probably one of my favorites. In this section we get to see a snapshot of her relationship with her grandfather, as well as the rift that has occurred within the family. Sitting on the uncomfortable bead-covered chair, Zadie watches her grandfather in a white butcher's apron chop through a large beef flank. Gong Gong is a terracotta Buddha, wielding a weapon from the Qin dynasty, movements infused with the calligraphy of Wang Xichi. He brandishes this historicity with flair, because, as he says, the Chinese no longer care about their heritage. Once great palaces drowned for dams, temples now fish castles for scuba divers, the country, a heap of relics. The faces of warriors stare at us from the dirt and cry, "Was this why I die? For our history to be sold for pretty pennies?" No, no, no. He says that during maturation, there is a point when people turn away from themselves. Just as children grow into adults, civilizations go through these same stages. But the lengths to which the Chinese have gone to escape themselves should terrify us, he says. Chinese culture is too old for a midlife crisis. Same with your mother, Da. Too old to become a lawyer all of a sudden. Too old to do it all over again. Gong Gong, please. You should talk to her, Zadie offers. You know how the law is, she ventures. Lately, Zadie's relationship between her grandfather and mother has become that of mediator. Zadie has been visiting her grandfather alone, her mother refusing to come. Her mother and grandfather have always got into heated debates about communism, about baby formula, about America, about Kiana, but the rift has never been so severe, not since Anna quit her job to fight for Kiana's estate. Her grandfather just harumphs. "You don't know the courts, Zadie," he says. "Neither does your mother. This ill-fated life she lives. Ayah." Cracked open on the table is Pui Mui's cookbook filled with pictures of birds' nests, fried duck and pancake, 8 jeweled stuffing, and lotus leaves. Gong Gong continues to rant about the grand illusion, how everyone believes that they are owed love. He insists it creates a short-sightedness that turns into nostalgia, replaced by larger and larger myths. "See how people love superheroes," he says. "Everyone is crazy for superheroes, but when we abandon our roots for fantasies, we become ghosts. We need to think about our traces. It is the main problem with your mother, Zadie. Always been. She imagines herself some kind of hero, but she is just one person." Although Zadie is taller than her grandfather by an inch, he probably weighs 4 times more. His belly is a cauldron-sized wrought iron wok. He is mostly bald with a few bands of greasy hair across his pate. His suburban home is newly renovated with granite counters and shiny appliances. On the alabaster mantel, incense releases a slow rise of smoke before a fox photo of Zadie's grandmother when she was young. Her hair is tied back in a bun, and she wears bright yellow ceremonial robes. Zadie never met her grandmother, and other than her clothes, the vestiges of any life, Zadie knows very little about who she was. The grandfather who feeds her candies more chalky than sweet, and pudding made from red beans. It is hard to reconcile the man who gives her lucky money in ornate red envelopes with the one who grew up on mainland China and swam to Hong Kong because he may or may not have been wanted by the government. Before Zadie leaves, her grandfather shoves 2 $50 bills into her pocket. "Make sure there's food in the fridge, Da. And don't tell your mother." Had her writing given her the power to communicate with adults? Did her grandfather see her as an equal in her ability to deftly articulate the world? As she listens to her grandfather talk about how he wished people remembered Tiananmen Square, she thinks about how The Little Red Book was the first book she owned, and to this day, it is a story about paper tigers. So thank you so much for your patience and for listening in. I hope you enjoyed that. You can pre-order Arborescent now at marchermanlynch.com or Arsenal Pulp Press's main website. The book goes on sale on October 1st everywhere, or maybe not everywhere, but I'm sure it'll be places you can find it. Thanks again so much for your support, and I hope you enjoy.